A really interesting poll was done on the various proposals surrounding the automatic cuts known as the sequester by Business Insider. Now, we know that when you explain to people in a poll, do you support the predominantly Republican plan to do A, B, and C, or the plan put forth by Senate Democrats to do A, B, and C, or the plan put forth by President Obama that would do X, Y, and Z? People tend to respond to which plan they favor very much based on party lines and personal voting history. So, in other words, if you voted for President Obama in a poll like that, you're way more likely to say you support the Obama plan, whether or not you understand it and whether or not you actually think that it makes any sense. Business Insider did a poll where they did it blindly. They did not associate proposals with the party that proposed them. And what it turns out is that the most progressive budget solutions are very popular, including with Republicans, even over the proposals of their own party. To a lot of people, this will not come as a surprise. To many people, it will. It really just goes to show that people actually want the progressive proposals. They are pushed away from them by them being named the progressive proposals and being connected to Democrats. Let's look at the data, Lewis.
Okay.
So the poll found that 47% of Republicans preferred what is called the House Progressive Plan to the across-the-board cuts. This means Republicans support this as much as they support the Republican plan. And it's just unbelievable because these are self-identified Republicans who said, what we like is this: the Balancing Act, which rectifies the inequitable approach to deficit reduction taken so far. By replacing the sequester with $960 billion in revenue, the act achieves a 1-to-1 ratio of cuts to revenue. The Balancing Act would close tax loopholes that encourage companies to ship jobs overseas, that pay billions of dollars annually to the highly profitable fossil fuel industry, and that allow tax breaks for yachts and corporate jets. It would also limit deductions on the wealthiest taxpayers, close loopholes for hedge fund managers, and close estate tax loopholes. It also eliminates a bunch of wasteful Pentagon spending, close to $300 billion. That is the plan that's barely even being discussed in the media because it's considered kind of like too progressive. Really, we're discussing the main proposals, the Republican proposal and the Obama proposal. This is by far the most progressive proposal, and Republicans like it as much as they like their own party's plan. What does this tell us, Lewis?
A lot of things.
Natan, what do you make of this?
Well, I mean, it just goes to show that the Republicans and the conservative movement in general has won. The way they win is by framing issues to begin with, not by getting the end result on their side. So when they frame an issue like the federal deficit as the number one thing that we need to resolve, you have two parties arguing about how best to do that, protecting the things that they most care about, but no one questions the basic assumption that that's what we need to do now. This is how they win. If you call an apple a Democrat, then
people
only
don't
half
like
the
apples.
country are going to eat apples.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, when you actually look at what people really believe, the country is in a slightly different place than where the Republicans drive the narrative.
Yeah, once again, Lewis, these poll results show that we hear all the time, this is a center-right country. And poll after poll that we get, when they are blind polls that aren't partisan or associating party platform or party names with ideas, we see a situation here where the best and most attractive ideas to voters and to everyday people are the ones that are getting sidelined by money in politics and partisan bickering. The most popular and best ideas are not being heard, even though they are the ones that clearly Americans believe would be the way forward.
Right. So what's the problem? Money in politics?
That's
people
a big problem.
Being manipulated easily?
There's
or
the partisan
total
nature.
Lack of education?
Lack of education. People have become completely partisan. So people have been trained. I'm not blaming the average person, but people have been trained that once you're kind of on one of these two teams, which are increasingly less and less distinguishable aside from social issues, you kind of have to just stick with that. And anything that doesn't fall onto your team's plate is just something you're against. Except when you're actually pulled blindly like this, the true colors show through, which is this is really kind of a progressive country.
And you
in
might
many
not
ways.
be. You probably shouldn't be on the side that you're on.
You probably should.
Yeah.
Depending on which side that is,
Right.
or not.
Well, I'm sure there are some people where the opposite would be true.